What's up guys, welcome to the Macintosh Review. I am finally back after a long break from YouTube, and in this video I wanted to talk about why I took a break, and I did want to mention how Apple has finally disappointed me. So for those of you who know me and who followed the channel for a while, this video is going to be a doozy and relatively difficult for me to make, but let's just get into it. Now before we get there, if you are new here, welcome to the channel, and if you aren't already, be sure to subscribe and click the bell button so you are notified of any new videos that I post when they are posted. I really appreciate it. Also be sure to click the like button below the video because I'm sure you will love the Apple content that I post. Okay, so I'm a big-time fan of Apple. Many of you guys know that, and you could even consider me a fanboy, and this year, Apple has sort of disappointed me for the first time in a while. Now, let me be clear, when I say Apple has disappointed me, I love Apple, but I'm really talking in terms of hardware, and in some ways, the new business model of Apple in their overemphasis on the Apple ecosystem, in my opinion. Now, I've bought a new iPhone just about every single year for the past 8 years from 2010 until the present. I've bought the iPhone 4, iPhone 5, 5S, 6, 6S, 7, and the iPhone 10. Many of you guys have followed my videos throughout that period of time, and I've loved every single one of those iPhones, and Apple really impressed me with all those phones. One of my favorite companies because of that. But this year was the first year that I actually did not purchase a new iPhone, which was really tough, I'll admit it. There were a few reasons for that, and the main driver behind me not buying the new iPhone is honestly because Apple just hasn't really excited me with these new iPhones. Now, the new iPhones are the iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max, and as many of you guys know, they focused on the incremental updates in the phones themselves, rather than including a flagship feature. You could argue that the iPhone XS Max is a bigger screen size, which is a flagship feature, but to me, honestly, just changing the screen size is not really that big of a deal in terms of flagship feature. It's just an incremental hardware upgrade to a certain degree, especially when we saw the iPhone X last year. I currently use the iPhone X as my daily driver, and it's been incredible. At first I thought I wouldn't like the lack of the home button, but I can honestly say that it feels so natural now to use the swipe gestures on the iPhone X, and the phone overall has been snappy, smooth, and an all-around great experience. The iPhone X was my favorite iPhone to date, and still actually is. Now when I compare the iPhone X to the iPhone XS or the iPhone XS Max, I'm honestly underwhelmed. Watching the reveal of these new iPhones was just not the same for me for the first time in a while as any other iPhone reveal, because I really didn't see a reason to upgrade from the iPhone X to the XS or the XS Max. And keep in mind that this is a big deal because I definitely am an Apple fanboy, and like I said, I bought a new iPhone every year for 7 years. Each year there was one feature that usually pushed me over the edge to buy the new iPhone, despite the fact that many people would consider each year's iPhone progressively less exciting than the last version from the previous year. So, for example, the iPhone 7 had the water resistance and the iPhone 6S had 3D Touch. With the iPhone 6S and the iPhone X, you saw total redesigns of the iPhone from the previous year, and the iPhone 4 was just one of the greatest iPhones ever, and it did have FaceTime as a flagship feature. So when I look at the iPhone XS and the iPhone XS Max, they really only focused on incremental upgrades in terms of speed and the camera quality, and there really didn't seem to be a difference when comparing it to the iPhone X for me, so I didn't really see a reason to upgrade. Unless, of course, I held the phones side by side, to me there really was no major differences. So were these phones worth another $1,000 to upgrade in the XS and the XS Max? Well, it was tough, but I honestly didn't think so. So this year I passed on buying the iPhone for the first time in a while. Now, why did Apple go this route without including a major feature upgrade in the iPhone XS and XS Max? Why did they focus on incremental upgrades in terms of speed and just performance? Well, I think Apple's business model has changed from what it used to be, and they are focused on their ecosystem a lot more at this point. Now, the ecosystem of Apple is the integration that all of the Apple products are built with, so Apple makes it really easy, for example, to use an iPhone alongside a Mac, Apple Watch, AirPods, iCloud, and many other products. And this is definitely a positive. I find myself fully entrenched in this ecosystem every single day. And it feels like once you're in the ecosystem, it's extremely hard to get out of. You're going to have to stop using all of those different products. And so it's really hard to leave that ecosystem. Now that being said, it really seems to me that Apple focused on simply adding more users or customers to their ecosystem this year, rather than using their old business model to attract customers with simply incredible new features on the iPhones. They seemed to think that once a customer is in the Apple's ecosystem, that's a good enough prospect for them, and in many ways, that's actually correct. Once a customer is using Apple, they are incredibly loyal, and it seems like a brilliant business aspect of Apple to take advantage of. I mean, like I said, if you have an iPhone, most likely you have another product like a Mac, an Apple Watch, AirPods, you're using iCloud, something of that sort. All that being said, I'm simply frustrated that they did not add any major new features to the iPhone XS or XS Max besides the new screen size of the XS Max, and that's ultimately what led me to take a break from YouTube. I just wasn't that enthused with Apple. I mean, I focused this channel mostly on my excitement with Apple, and this year I simply wasn't that excited, unfortunately. Now, of course, I am back on YouTube. I'm thrilled to continue making videos on this channel for you guys, and I will say that Apple has impressed me with their software and the new Apple Watch Series 4. iOS 12 is just insanely buttery smooth on all of the iPhones I've tested, including even the oldest iPhones like the 5S or the iPhone 6. And I love how easy iOS is to use, and it definitely seems to get better and better each year. Moving on, in terms of the Apple Watch, I am an original Apple Watch user, so the Apple Watch Series 4 to me seems incredible, a massive upgrade, and I still have yet to pick one up, but I do plan to do so in the coming weeks, and it really seems like the best smartwatch on the market based on everything I've heard so far. Apple also has their Mac event coming up later in October, so that will be another chance for them to fully impress me. I'm expecting big things from that event. I really hope they come out with some great products. One rumored is the Mac Mini, which is one of my favorite computers of all time, and I would love to see that refreshed with an amazing new design. So yes, they do have more chances to impress me, and I definitely am looking forward to that. And I really, really love their software. So to conclude, honestly guys, I just hope that Apple doesn't go this route ultimately of simply focusing on their ecosystem as opposed to the hardware itself. I hope they continue to come out with awesome new features on the hardware, and I'm sure they will with the 2019 iPhones and their future products, but for now, I'm just a little bit disappointed this year, which is hard because I've run this channel for 8 years now, but it happens, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing if they can change my mind moving forward in the future, just like they always have in the past. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm happy to be back and excited to keep the channel moving forward. Be sure to subscribe for more content, as I will be uploading more videos soon, and be sure to like the video, as well as to check out the links in the description for more content. Stay awesome, guys. As always, stay tuned, and I'll catch you later. Peace.